Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. So, Venezuela War Part 9, Associated Press Polling. That's what we're looking at today. I'm kind of didn't realize I'd be doing 9 of these. So, the poll was conducted between the 8th and the 11th of January, so it's about 3 days old, and it kind of takes that long for them to process all the data that they've got to deal with. And it is what it is. So, in this poll, and I'm going to blow this up so everyone can read it a little bit easier. You've got what looks like a pretty one-sided approval disapproval rating, and guess what? That 37% all Republicans. They will back Trump to the hilt. It will never end. So you've got the most disapproved of Trump's foreign policy. He's under 40%. His foreign policy's never been that strong anyway. But this is definitely a new low for his, for since the beginning of his administration. 61%'s been about where he's been on disapproval, but it is climbing, and I would expect that it's going to continue to do so because he's got morons working for him, and they honestly have no freaking idea what they're doing. So most say Trump has gone too far on the intervention abroad. That's generally okay. So you look at these numbers, the U.S. adults, and Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. Now, Democrats 86%, no, not a doubt in the world, right? This is plus or minus almost 4, right? So, there's a very small margin of Democrats that say they've not gone far enough. I'm pretty sure that's within the margin of error. I think one could say that it's probably 90% of Democrats, and then you have a 10% that just probably don't like Trump for a different reason. Can't imagine why. The independent vote's one that's very interesting. It's not the most interesting number on this board, but it's very interesting. So the independents kind of decide elections. They're the ones that move back and forth. The others stay in their columns, except for this last cycle. There was a little bit more column shakeup. The parties are definitely in flux right now, but the independents are the ones who really do decide. And I think, and there's a lot of Republicans out there actually that call themselves independents that are absolutely not independent, because the way you know that is you ask them when was the last time you voted Democrat, they can't remember. It's because they're a Republican. Yeah. But 63% is a lot. And these guys generally vote with their pocketbooks. So we haven't even gotten to the bad part of the economy yet. So that's going to happen this coming year, and they're really going to turn at that point. They don't care about Venezuela. They don't probably even care that much about healthcare. They care about their pocketbooks, their dividends, their business, right? That's what they care about. I keep telling independents, you want to live like a Republican, better vote Democrat. But, you can only say that. Just keep saying that and see what happens. Then we get to the Republicans. This one's the most interesting because it doesn't take many Republicans, because they have to have like 103% turnout in order for them to. That's what they found out in Georgia. They were looking at these counties in North Georgia, uh, you know, and going, we need more votes out of those counties. There aren't any more votes out of those counties. Republicans have to all vote or they just get demolished, right? So Republicans, 18% think Trump's gone too far. I don't know if that's I don't think that would make them not vote for Trump. Not all of them. But it wouldn't surprise me if like maybe a third of that group wouldn't vote for Trump. That's 6%. And in my business, 6%'s enormous. That's the game. That's why these swing elections with that averaged what last year 13.5%. And I didn't even count Miami or a few other elections in there that were like really ridiculous. I consider those guys outliers. But 13.5 points is insane. And if they're looking at 18% of Republicans don't like what they're doing abroad, that's going to come back to haunt them. So the Venezuela action overall, right? Um, you know, what do they think the impact's going to be, right? So stopping drugs, they're like, oh yeah, that's barely even that's just over 50%. Now, that's probably independents, um, and a few independents, and then the Republican Party, because they're all about, stopping drugs unless we already have them in prison and they're in jail for bringing in 400 tons of cocaine, and then we just pardon them, except for those guys. But everything else, oh yeah, 100%. You guys don't know if you saw that. I super had an eye roll. The Venezuelan people. So, uh, the impact on them, Americans, 44% think this is going to be a good thing. Listen, Maduro was a bus driver. He was what we call a convenient idiot. It's kind of like what we've got in the White House right now. Except our convenient idiot, unfortunately, is just the worst. But and is in charge of the largest military force on the planet Earth. But this bus driver, Maduro, was a convenient idiot because he's what's called a front man. So the entire government that was behind Maduro is still absolutely 100% functioning. So there will be no change for the Venezuelan people because of this. Venezuela national security, it's really weird. You seem to have like a 30-30-30 almost there. Yeah. I mean, no, what that tells me is that the 35% of MAGA is like, yes, they're about to invade us. Their military is designed for one thing, keeping their local population in line. They're not what you classify as a outreach military. It's such a joke. And as far as the U.S. economy goes, the only people who think that this is going to be mostly a good thing are people who don't know how oil works. So, I just think there's a lot of confusion on this issue still. I don't feel like people have really understood what's going to happen. And moving forward, this is just going to get more interesting. The big number is 56% of US adults think Trump overstepped on the military intervention abroad. That's the big number, 56%. Remember I told you about that 6%? Yeah, this is where you see it. And I think that 6% is going to be a real problem for statewide races that are close. Gerrymandered races, they've mostly accounted for 6%. Just to give you an idea, before Texas was re-gerrymandered, because I have no hard data on the new districts, so I can't really speak for them beyond like, oh my God, they're terrible. But basically, the Democrats would have to win by 8.5% in Texas for it to show up in the gerrymandered districts in Texas. So our governor would have to win by high single digits. Democrat governor of Texas would have to win by high single digits in order to be able to affect those races below him or her. Because that's why gerrymandering is not democratic. All right. I'm going to keep doing these Venezuela videos until the orange idiot shuts up about Venezuela. I won't do them every day, but I will keep an eye on it. It's it's what I'm watching for, because a lot of this is going to be connected. What they're going to do in Cuba which is inevitable, by the way. They will go into Cuba. We already have a military base there. It's easier than going to Venezuela. Um, it's going to happen. So that's going to be Venezuela 2.0. It's all connected. Viewing each one of these things that's going down as a standalone is a mistake. And I won't be making that mistake. So I may change the breadth of the title to, the Western Hemisphere's war. I don't know, but I will keep you guys posted, and I will let you guys know what new data, what new information is coming out. All right. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. These are all the places you can find me. If you're running for office, feel free to email me at sean@clsbpolitics.com. All right. I'll talk to you later.